Is Tolu something, and I am your coach on self-development. I'm very excited to be doing this with everyone in this class, and I want to say a very big thank you to all the organizers. This is our very first session, and during the course of the classes, I will be dishing out more on self-development. You'll be wondering why I chose the topic self-development to teach you in self-development. I believe that at the heart of everything else that you do, your self-development is key, is major, is what drives everything else around you. Today, on our first class, we will start off with self. When you think about self-development, there is a combination of two words, self and development. It's about knowing yourself to an extent and knowing that you're in need of developing yourself to become a better version of yourself. It's the awareness that I need to do better. I have potentials and I'm not living up to that yet, and I have to live up to it. That is part of what self-development entails. If you feel like you're the best version of yourself, then you no longer need self-development. But I don't think that any of us in this world has attained that, plateau, that pinnacle of being the best versions of ourselves. There is always so much more. And I know that as people in this class, for you to be a part of this class, there is a part of you that know that you need to develop yourself even much better. Apologies, I have a cold. So today I'm going to be talking to you about self. And I'm going to be splitting into three things. That is self-awareness, self-leadership, self-awareness, self-leadership, and self-regulation. So what is self-awareness? I already started a bit on that. Self-awareness is, being conscious of yourself. There are people that don't even know what they look like. Thank God for the advent of mirrors and selfies, so you can be able to see yourself and reflect what you look like. But when I mean self-awareness, I don't just mean your physical state or what you look like, whether or not you know that you have like a pimple on your face or whatever. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about self-awareness in the sense that you know yourself, you know your values, you know your skills, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know what you need to do better with yourself. You just know yourself. And it affects the way you behave with other people, because now you know your strength and your weaknesses. If you're writing down, I would like you to just simply write, self-awareness is the consciousness of my strengths and my weaknesses. I just want you to write that down. The self-awareness is the consciousness of my strength and my weaknesses. Once you know your strength, once you know your weaknesses, almost half of the job is done. Because you now know that, okay, this is where I'm good at. For me, I know I'm a very bubbly person. When I get into a room, people are excited to see me. People are happy to want to associate with me. That's my strength. I'm very lively. And so when I get into a room, I know that that could be an advantage for me. That could be a plus for me, right? But also my weaknesses is that sometimes I might be talking too much. Because I am the life of the party and I know how to talk to everyone does not mean I should talk all the time, right? So that's how you know. In that area, I am self-aware. I know that I shouldn't talk all the time, but there are times when I need to talk and it makes all the difference. Is that understood? So self-awareness goes a long way, helps to shape you to become a better version of yourself. Now you need to ask yourself, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? Am I one that is, that is easily angered? Am I the kind of person that gets angry easily? What are my triggers? How do I relate with people? So as we go home today, I'll give all of us an assignment until our next class. Look for 5 of your very close friends, right? And tell them to tell you things about you genuinely. If you want to do it anonymously, that's much better, because that way they are more open and honest. But if you want them to talk to you about it face to face, well, if you think that they'll be honest with you, then that works. But I feel like you should do it more anonymously. Ask them, what do you think about me? What do you think is my strengths and weaknesses. I don't want to know your name. Just do what I ask you to do. Tell your friends this, that give me an assessment of myself, my strengths, my weaknesses, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at. Do that for your friends, and whatever results that you get from that gives you a sense of self-awareness. Like, okay, these are my strengths. My friends think that I am a cool person. My friends think that, I get angry easily. Because at the end of the day, you might not know that that is the version of you that you're displaying to other people, except other people tell you. Because every day you relate with people and you talk to people. So I'm speaking on self-awareness, self-discipline, self-leadership. It was self-leadership I mentioned. My point on self-discipline is under self-leadership. In the very famous words of John Maxwell, he said, and I quote, that everything rises and falls on leadership. If you cannot lead yourself, how do you tend to lead other people? Being a leader, being self-taught, being an amazing person, start with you yourself. If you cannot lead yourself, how do you want to lead other people? If you cannot, do the basic things with yourself, if you don't show grace to yourself, if you don't forgive yourself, if you don't think of yourself to be worth it, how do you think other people are going to see you? So it usually starts with you, starts with yourself. You know what I'm saying? It starts with you. So self-leadership is one thing that I feel like everyone should take home today and understand that once I can lead myself, it affects every other thing around me. Now, self-regulation. I'm just touching briefly on all these things because during the course of the classes, we'll be unpacking them one after the other. In our next class, we're going to be talking about, our mindset and how that shapes our world. But I just want to talk on self today. So self-regulation is my third point for today. And self-regulation entails you checking yourself, putting a check and balance on yourself. I know that sometimes you can be very lackadaisical with yourself, like, okay, how am I going to go about this? But self-regulation can only be achieved when you're self-aware and when you've been able to lead yourself. Then you can now regulate yourself. If you're not even self-aware, how do you want to regulate yourself? If you don't even lead yourself, how do you want to regulate yourself? You know what I'm talking about? So you need to be in check to look at yourself. Okay, my friends have said this about me. How do I act going forward? How do I behave going forward? You know what I mean? That helps you with your self-reflection. Your self-regulation. It helps to regulate and check yourself. Like, okay, what have I done today? Every day, when you're done with work, when you're done for the day, have some time to reflect on your day and think back. What did I do today that didn't sit well with me? What can I do differently today or tomorrow? You know what I'm talking about? So self-regulation goes a long way. So those are my three major points for today. Self-awareness, self-leadership. Under it, we have self-discipline, and then self-regulation, which mostly comes from self-reflection. When you reflect on yourself, it helps you. All right. Until our next class,